just a reminder that Heat 2, Class Break 11 for market ducks should be in the staging area. Heat 2, market ducks. Just a reminder that all first and second hens from today should be in the show arena. First and second hens. Exotic fowl, report to the staging area. Exotic fowl.
All right, what a nice lineup of winners and reserves. So let's give everybody a round of applause. I think this is a really nice class, and going through and looking at them, I'm real pleased that I was able to find these birds because I do think there's a lot of nice quality birds out in this lineup today. For my champion standard hen, I'm going with a bird that I think is just really nice. I can't really find anything wrong with it. It's got all its feathers, excellent condition. That's the Barnvelder here, is going to be my champion. For reserve, I'm going to go with a bird that, again, I think is really exceptional. It's a breed I tried to raise when I was all your guys' age and wasn't very successful. And I'm got a better knowledge of that standard than I do of maybe some of the other standards. And I just think it's an exceptional bird. And so for reserve, I'm going to go with the Blue Andalusian at the end. So congratulations.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for the Champion Standard Size Hen Trophy. Snyder LPA sponsored that. And for the Reserve Champion Standard Size Hen Trophy, Judy Schwartz. Our Reserve Champion was Logan Bassnett. And our champion was Kate Johnson. Fancy Duck, report to the staging area. Fancy Duck to the staging area. Just a reminder that exotic fowl should be in the staging area. Exotic fowl. Just a reminder that Fancy Duck should be in the staging area. Fancy Duck. Pigeon can also make its way to the staging area. Pigeons.
right, the exotics. I first have to say I really appreciate you guys bringing these. When I was all your age, I first started in rabbits in 4-H, and then I went to chickens. And so we had our meat chickens, and we had our egg layers, and I had my fancy bantams that I used to go to poultry shows. But one of the things that my dad and I really got into when I was your age were exotics. So we had not only the game birds, ring-necked pheasants and bobwhite quail and eastern wild turkeys, but we also had exotic things. So we had the button quail, we had Caturnix quail, we had for a short time guineas, and then we had like 8 or 9 different varieties of pheasants, from blue-eared, Reeves, Swinhoe. We just had a bunch, and I really enjoyed raising those. That's probably the biggest thing I miss of my childhood, was raising those exotics. I know the effort that goes into these. I know the effort on what it takes to bring them to a fair and have them still have their feathers, because they lose feathers so easily, and be in excellent condition. So I want to commend all of you for bringing these birds, because it is an effort, and I do greatly appreciate it. My winner's going to be this button quail down here. I just think he's really nice male. He's got that dark colored chest to him, and the white markings under his beak are appropriate. And then we're going to go with this pennant 2 here for second and third of the Guinea Hens. I think they're just in a little better condition. And my understanding of the pearl guineas is that they're supposed to be pearl all the way, and this one in the far cage tends to have some white feathers in its primaries, and I don't think that's quite allowed. But I do want to commend you guys for bringing them here. I really appreciate the effort in doing that, and let's give them all a round of applause, because this wasn't easy.
I'd like to thank our sponsors. For the Champion Exotic Fowl Trophy, Judy Swartz. And for the second through third place rosettes for Exotic Fowl, Andrea and Scott Anderson. In third place, we have Lexi Carruthers. In second place, we have Brighton Carruthers. And in first place, we have Alexandria Anderson. Ronald Fleming and Lorelei McKenney report to the staging area. Ronald Fleming and Lorelei McKenney report to the staging area immediately. Troy Bullock, report to the staging area with your pigeon. Troy Bullock to the staging area. 1 for Bantam Roosters, Game Modern Bantam Roosters report to the staging area. Heat 1.
All right, so for the fancy ducks, just like fancy chickens, we've got standards for all these different breeds and varieties of waterfowl that are out here. My winner of the class is going to be this crested duck. I like him a lot. One of the things I like the most about him is his crest. I mean, that's a trait of the breed. And a lot of times what we see are those crests, they're either lopsided or they're not centered directly on top of the head. And that's how they're supposed to be. And I was really impressed with that on that duck. Moving on down the line, again, I think these are all nice quality ducks. And there's quite a few nice ducks that are out here that didn't make it in the ribbons. And it's just that I felt these guys fit their breed standard a little bit better than some of the others. So let's give everybody a round of applause.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for the Champion Fancy Duck Awards. For our Champion Fancy Duck Trophy, we have Chris and Tom Buck family. For our second and third place rosettes for Fancy Duck, our sponsor was Kiefer Contractors. In third place, we have Robin Rex. In second place, Fancy Duck, we have Adeline Winters. And in first place for Fancy Duck, we have Ashley Duke Ward.
Real quick, like probably the easiest market animal judge is the duck, in my opinion. All I had to do is check the width of the breast, also the thickness of those drumsticks. But again, we sorted down 4 out of each group, narrowed it down to 8. After we got to the 8, we narrowed it down to 4. I let all 4 of these exhibitors handle the birds to make sure we're doing it the right way. So once we got there, 4, 3, 2, 1, I looked primarily at the breast, the width, the meat, and finally the thickness of that drumstick. So with that, I got to think in terms of that duck being plucked and on a table, and some places they still keep the head like the Chinese keep the head. They stick a little apple in the mouth, and that duck's ready for you to eat. So that's what I was looking at today. But basically the same thing as turkeys and chickens.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for the Market Duck Awards. For our Champion Market Duck Trophy, we have Dawn and June Queen. For our Champion Market Duck Winner Banner, we have Harrison Farm. For our Champion Market Duck Buyer Banner, we have Failer's Feed Store. And for our Reserve Champion Market Duck, we have Chris and Marcy Walters family. In 7th place, we have Dawson Mullen. Our 6th place Market Duck was Lexi Carruthers. Our 5th place Market Duck was Sadie Shorts. Our 4th place Market Duck was Olivia Steets. Our 3rd place Market Duck was Chelsea Steets. Our 2nd place Market Duck was Brooklyn DeFazio. And our 1st place Market Duck was Allison Kramer. Just a reminder, our Game Modern Bantam Rooster should be in the waiting area. Game Modern Bantam Rooster. Our pigeons are out there. Oh, they are? Does he want to talk about that?
I think he's just talking to them about it.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for our Pigeon Awards. Our Champion Pigeon Trophy was sponsored by the Lancaster Pigeon Club, Ron Perrin, and our second to third place rosettes were sponsored by the Lancaster Pigeon Club, Ron Perrin. Our second place winner was Malin Kilbarger. And our first place pigeon goes to Troy Bullock. Our single comb clear-legged roosters can report to the waiting area. Single comb clean-legged rooster. Just a reminder that the single comb clean-legged rooster needs to report to the staging area, and also the rose comb clean-legged rooster to the staging area. Rose comb clean-legged rooster. Just a reminder, our single comb clean-legged bantam roosters and our rose comb clean-legged bantam roosters need to report to the staging area. clean-legged Bantam roosters report to the staging area. Rose-comb, clean-legged Bantam roosters. All other comb, clear-legged Bantam roosters report to the staging area. All other comb, clear-legged roosters. All other combs, Bantam rooster, report to the staging area. All other combs. All feather-legged Bantam roosters report to the staging area. Feather-legged Bantam roosters to the staging area. Feather-legged Bantam roosters to the staging area.
Okay, in these Old English, we're going to go with the Silver Duckling as our winner of the class. Maybe a little on the larger side. I'd like to see them a little bit smaller, but in the best feather condition of all the birds in the class. Moving down the line again, I think these are really nice birds, and I left some nice birds there on the table. And I just want to mention if for the junior fairs and the county fairs, it doesn't really matter, but we're talking fancy poultry. If you really want to get into Old English for fancy poultry, the standard actually calls for all older male chickens to be dubbed, okay? And that's the removal of the combs and the wattles. So that's something to consider if you really want to get involved with this particular breed, okay? It's a disqualification if you enter a real poultry show with a cock bird and he has the full comb. So that's just information for you guys. For the county fair, I much prefer to see them with their natural combs anyway. So anyway, keep up the good work. Let's give them a round of applause.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Jessica Root, for sponsoring the first through third place rosettes for the Modern Game Roosters. In third place, we have Robin Rex. In second place, we have Hunter Meyer. And in first place, we have Alexandria Anderson. Just a reminder that our feather-legged roosters should be in the staging area. Feather-legged Bantam roosters. Feather-legged Bantam roosters, Heat 1 and Heat 2, should both be in the staged area.
So in the single comb clean leg, I really like these three birds that are up here as my winners in this class. The Rhode Island Red I really like a lot. He's got some roughed up feathers from traveling here today, but they're still there. And I think, as I smoothed them out a little bit, he seemed to get into, they seem to gather together, and he's the most complete bird out here. I really like how he carries his tail. Would like to see a little smaller comb on him, but overall I do think he's a nice quality Rhode Island Red. I really love these barred rocks. One of the things about barred rocks is that barring that you see on the outside is supposed to be carried all the way through to the skin of the bird. So if you look at the fluff of the birds, the lines may not be distinct because it's fluff, but they're definitely there. And a lot of times when you get barred rocks from commercial hatcheries and so forth, when I look at that, I'll see in that fluff area, I'll see where it's just sort of a muddy gray. These birds aren't that. They have distinct barring all the way down to the skin, and I just really like the quality of barring on both of them. I went with this one in second place because he has a little more complete tail than the other one. I'd like to see sort of a comb in between the two sizes of both these birds, but overall just a nice quality pair of barred rocks. Again, we're going to go with the Rhode Island Red because I just think he's in the best condition and a nice representative of the breed. And then we're going to go second and third on the barred rock. So let's give them a round of applause.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, U.S. Kids 4-H Club, for sponsoring the first through third place rosettes for the single comb clean-legged roosters. In third place, we have Nolan Anderson. In second place, we have Ashley Duke Ward. And in first place, we have Cameron Malone. Game Modern Bantam Hens report to the staging area. Game Modern Bantam Hens to the staging area. Single comb clean-legged hens report to the staging area. Single comb clean-legged hens.
Okay, in the rose comb clean leg, I really encourage you guys to get the standard and read the standards of your breeds. We got the Seabrights and we got a rose comb here. The rose comb is, in my opinion, a little too young to be here, so we'll wait and see what she grows up to be, or he grows up to be, because I do think there's potential here. But these Seabrights, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, they're not a good representation of the breed. Okay, they're on the large side, and one of the unique characteristics of Seabright, and it's a breed I love, it was one of my primary breeds, is that the males are what we call hen feathered, which means they don't have long sickle feathers. They don't have the long pointed hackle feathers or the saddle feathers, and these guys do. And it's common, I see it a lot of times at fairs, but that's not desirable for a good sea bride. So if you want to go and hatch and breed these birds, I wouldn't recommend it with these two males here, okay? For showmanship, perfect because they're easy to handle. They are a little flighty, I mean, let's be honest, they are sea brides, but they could be easy to handle if you work with them and tame with them. But for breeding quality stock, you really need to read the standard and look at it. And if you want, I have standards here. I'd be happy to show you when I'm done judging, and you can see what a good one looks like and compare it to what you have. We're going to go with this bird here as the winner just because I think he's in a little better condition than the sea bride in second place. He's got more of those feathers in there, though they're incorrect, but they're there. So that's what I based on my placement on. But really, if you want to get into that breed, read that standard, and that will help you. Let's give them a round of applause.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Roger McLoney family, for sponsoring our first through third place rosettes for the Rose Comb Clean-Legged Rooster. In third place, we have Sadie Schultz. In second place, we have Tristan Grubb. And in first place, we have Alexandria Smeltzer.
All right, for any other comb, clean-legged, I'm going to go with the Americana. Tough choice, but I do think he's a very quality bird. I think he's in excellent condition and a nice representative of the breed, so congratulations.
I'd like to thank our sponsors, Tim and Aaron Wagner, for sponsoring our first place rosette for the All Other Comb Clean-Legged Rooster. In first place, we have Kansas Reimer. Last call for Kansas Rhymer. Kansas Rhymer with your feather-legged bantam. All first and second Bantam Roosters report to the show arena. First and second Bantam Roosters. Rose-comb clean-legged hens report to the staging area. Rose-comb clean-legged hens. And our single-comb clean-legged hens should also be in the staging area. Just a reminder, we need our first and second
Okay, so in our
Bantam
feather leg
roosters.
class, I'm going to go with the Silky as the winner. This was one of my primary breeds when I was your age. I had bearded gray Silkies, and it's a breed I really like a lot. And I really think this bird fits the standard well. Um, it's unusual color partridge. We don't see it very often, but he's the proper comb. He's got the proper size to him, proper crest, proper beard and muff, and I don't often see that at fairs, and I just do think it's exceptional silky. Second and third place are some very nice cochins. Cochins, I mentioned in the standard class, is supposed to have some size to it, some substance to it. The one in second place is maybe a little on the smaller side compared to the third place bird, but he's in a little better feather condition than what our third place bird is. But I do think both of them, if you look at them from the front, they've got the width that they're supposed to have up front in the chest. So I do think they're very nice birds, just not today up to the quality that the Silky is ahead of them. So let's give everybody a round of applause. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Isaac Wagner, for sponsoring the first through third place rosettes for the feather-legged roosters. In third place, we had Dylan Black. In second place, we have Malin Kilbarger. And in first place, we have Regan Thomas. Cameron Malone.
All right, for my champion Bantam male, I'm going to go with the Silky. I just think he's an exceptional bird. I, you know, talked about it before how well I think he fits the standard, and just a quality Silky that I wouldn't mind owning. For reserve, it was actually a toss-up between two birds for me, and I'm just going on. One is in a little better condition today. Feathers aren't quite as ruffled, and so my reserve champion's going to be the Americana. Uh, Third place would have been the Rhode Island. He just got some ruffled feathers, but I think he's a quality bird. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for the overall Bantam Rooster Awards. Our champion Bantam Rooster Trophy is sponsored by Ron and Carol Packard in memory of Seth Ando. Our Reserve Champion Bantam Rooster Trophy is sponsored by the Walker Shoe Center. I'm so sorry about that wait. Our Reserve Champion Bantam Rooster is Kansas Reimer. And our champion Bantam Rooster goes to Regan Thomas. All other Colms clean-legged hens report to the staging area. All other Colms clean-legged hen. Malone, make sure you report to the staging area. Cameron Malone. Just a reminder that our all other comb hens should be in the staging area. All other comb hens. Feather-legged Bantam hens report to the staging area. Feather-legged Bantam hens to the staging area.
Okay, on the Old English hens, we're going to go with the silver duckling here at the end. I think she's just carrying her tail a little bit better. I really like the hen in second place, but she tended to be a little tight in her feathers in that she was clamping her tails and she wasn't very relaxed. And a lot of times, particularly if birds, if they're only raised at home and don't go to shows or anything like that, all this noise in that can be intimidating, and so they tend to hold their feathers really tight, and so I really can't see the potential or the proper carriage and so forth of the tails. Third place, again, we're going with another nice bird, just missing a few feathers due to molt. They're starting to come in, and if the fair was another week or so away, she'd probably be in excellent condition, but we have to judge on what we see for today. Let's give everybody a round of applause.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Jessica Root, for sponsoring the first through third place rosettes for the modern game hen. In third place, we have Brighton Carruthers. In second place, we have Nolan Anderson. And in first place, we have Alexandria Anderson. Allison Kramer. If you are here, report to the staging area. Allison Kramer. Just a reminder, if you're a first or second winner for a Bantam Hens, to stay close for our overall announcement.
what a nice class, single comb, clean-legged Bantam hens. I really enjoyed this class. There's a lot of quality in these birds, and you know, I show dogs for a hobby now, and we have a saying that there's no perfect dog, and it's the same with chickens in a chicken show. And there's little things I could find in a lot of these birds, but I found a lot of quality in birds, even in the birds that are back at the table. So you're off to good foundations. My winner is going to be this Barred Rock. I think she's just really exceptional. I think she's a good size for Barred Rock and excellent barring on her feathers and overall just a quality bird. Frizzle's in second place. I think it's a very nice Frizzle Plymouth Rock. And I think the frizzling's coming in nice. And overall just nice shape to it and good condition, nice frizzle on those birds. Sometimes at fairs we'll see birds that are, quote, frizzles, and you'll see some straight feathers on them, and I don't see that in this case. And third's going to be the Colombian Rock. I think it's a nice bird. It's a color variety that I don't see very often, and when I do, a lot of times we see a lot of black and so forth throughout the body, and they're supposed to have this distinct black and white pattern to them. And it was really nice to see it, and I want to acknowledge it because I do think it is exceptional. But overall, a very nice quality class, so let's give everybody a round of applause.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, U.S. Kids 4-H Club, for sponsoring our first through third place rosettes for the single comb clean-legged hen. In third place, we have Malin Kilbarger. Second place goes to Alexandria Smeltzer. And first place goes to Nolan Anderson. Landon Meyer and Robin Rex, please report to the show arena. Landon Meyer and Robin Rex.
All right, for our rose comb clean leg, we're going to go with the rose comb as our winner. I really think this is an extremely nice hen. I think she's got the proper size comb, those nice circular white earlobes that's characteristic of the breed. She does have a little bit of conditioning issue with her tail, but I do think she is a quality bird, and As they were telling me, they've got some eggs hatching, and hopefully you'll get some really nice prodigy out of it because I do think she's exceptional. Second will be the Seabright. Little large for a Seabright, but she is a proper feather for a female. She's got a little bit of black ticking on the tail. I'd like to see less of that, but her barring on the rest of her feathers seems pretty nice. It's just a little too large for me. And then in third place, we got that young bird. And in my opinion, it's just a little too young to be here today and to properly evaluate it. I'd like to see him a little bit older for next time. So let's give everybody a round of applause.
I'd like to thank the Roger McLoney family for sponsoring our rosettes for the first through third place Rose Comb Clean-Legged Hen. In third place, we have Sadie Schultz. In second place, we have Alexandria Smeltzer. And in first place, we have Malin Kilbarger.
Attention everyone, if you placed first or second in a Bantam Hen, please come to the waiting area at this time. Again, if you placed first or second in a Bantam Hen class, please come to the waiting area at this time.
Okay, in our other comb class, we're going to go with the Americana hen. I do think she's a very nice hen. She's missing a few feathers, but overall, I think she is the quality of the class. So let's give everybody a round of applause.
Today I'd like to thank our sponsors Andrea and Scott Anderson and Pumpkins Track and Feed Shop for our first through third place Other Comb Clear-Legged Hens rosettes. In third place we had Landon Meyer from Awesome Animals. In second place we had Robin Rex from Awesome Animals. And in first place, we had Kansas Reimer from AC Extreme 4-Hers. Attention everyone, I'd like to ask anyone who placed first or second in Bantam Hens to come into the arena to the white tables, please.
All right, in this feather leg class, I'm going with all the cochins here. I really like them. I think they're actually pretty good type. We're going to go with this hen here in first place. I think she's in the best condition of them all. Moving down the line, again, it's just coming down to conditioning. The red is here because I'd like to maybe see a little more volume in her tail and so forth, but I don't often see reds, and when I do see them, they're usually sort of a washed out color, and she's very proper for that red color, almost like a Rhode Island Red, and I really appreciate that, and you know, maybe when she gets a little bit more mature, maybe that those tail feathers will come in a little better. But overall, I do think all three of these hens are very nice cochins. So let's give everybody a round of applause.
Hi there, everyone. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Susanna Shingler, for our first through third place feather-legged hens rosettes. In third place today, we have Macy Menke from Lithopolis Livestock. In second place, we have Kansas Reimer from AC Extreme 4-Hers. And in first place, we have Malin Kilbarger from 4 Creation 4-Hers.
Okay, what a nice lineup of Bantam hens. Um, I thought there was some nice quality in this Bantam show today. And for these hens, for champion, I'm going with a bird that I just really think is exceptional, meets the standard really well. It's got the proper shape and the proper type to it. And so my champion Bantam is going to be the Barred Rock. For reserve, I'm going with another bird that I think is very exceptional for its breed. Unfortunately, just has a little bit of an issue with some conditioning of the feathers on today, but I still think there's tons of quality in that bird, and that's the rose comb. So congratulations.
Hi there, everyone. I'd like to thank Assured Home Inspections Incorporated for our Reserve Champion Bantam Hens trophy, and I'd like to thank Ron and Carol Packard family for our Champion Bantam Hen trophy. Our reserve champion today was Malin Kilbarger from Fort Creation for 4-Hers.
Very nice.
And our grand champion for Bantam Hens today was Nolan Anderson from Liberty Union Happy Farmers.